Big companies in this country of ours is sitting on a pile of cash. One of the reasons why they're not spending that money and hiring people is because of uncertainty. What are we going to do about the deficits? What are we going to do about energy policy, transportation policy? Are we going to repeal health care? Are we going to change it? There's a huge amount of uncertainty. What we need to do is begin to address that uncertainty. I think the administration is making some progress. I think we're making some progress. I think the economy is coming back. But until we have better predictability, better certainty for particularly businesses large, but also small, we're not going to see the kind of takeoff that we need. But it's encouraging. A lot of positive signs right now. The deficit has doubled in the last 10 years. We're on track to double it again in the next 10 years.
So it's a bipartisan problem.
It's a bipartisan problem.
We're going to triple
what we need,
it.
we talked about this a little bit earlier, what we need is a culture of thrift where we're looking at to replace a culture of spendthrift. We need to look in every nook and cranny of the federal government, discretionary spending, domestic, defense, the entitlement programs, find savings to make sure we're spending money wisely.
Do you expect the president to talk about this kind of culture of thrift and major deficit and spending reduction?
I think he might,
tonight? Do you expect that?
Just to get me off his back. Because I have been hounding him in his administration for months. I think it's the right thing to do. People think we have a culture of spendthrift here. We need to replace that with a culture of thrift to make sure that we're spending money, and whether it's investments for education, there's some of them make a lot of sense, some of them don't.
Senator Carper, do you expect President Obama to propose a corporate tax cut tonight? This is a huge issue on Wall Street. It's a huge issue for business. And most big businesses and small businesses believe it is the key to competitiveness, not more spending. Do you expect a corporate tax cut proposal?
I think he's going to talk about the Deficit Reduction Commission that recommended lower rates and a broader base. And I think my hope is that he'll look back at the Commission's recommendations, or near recommendations, and in order to borrow from their recommendations on the revenue side and on the spending side. They call for deficit reduction for every dollar in revenues, new revenues, about $2 in spending cuts.